Give me a heart attack. Crazy noisemakers. Crazy kids. Ooh, boy, it's louder than normal. Hey, Frank. Boy, it is loud out here tonight. Louder than normal. Hey, Barry. My grandson just dropped a 25-pound weight, scared the living bejesus out of me. I thought somebody fell. Ugh. Whew, my heart's pounding out of my chest. Hey, Tommy. Yes, you do, Tommy. Hey, Tony. Whatever, you egg. Why did you get off the live, Rick? God, we haven't heard you so long. I miss your live chats at night. I know you're hot and tired, though. When it cools off, you come back, right? It'll go, hey, Pam, I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, your audio kept breaking up, and someone said it was just you standing away from the mic, but I could clearly hear the breaking in it. It's happened to me, too, so I don't know what it is. Hey, Quinn. Who scared you? Hey, Barry. I missed you around here, Pam. Hey, Jamie. I'd really like to know if they heard gunshot. I'd really like to know if actually somebody. Hey, Tim. If they actually shot, or the people that turned them in were just afraid they were going to. Because I can't give you a wrench on this. I can go to my computer and give you one. As long as you're not Otis. Otis, 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 Otis. Oh, that's so cute. Hello, Joe. Yep, I do throw them. Anyways, hey, Rick. Okay, Pam, I got it. Makes sense, hon. There's two people that I know of that that need the yellow root. Is it seasoned yet for it? I wish I could grow them here. I wish they were wild here, but there's nothing. Hey, Peppy. Hey, Becky. Hey, Chev. Rick singing. Why didn't you do that while you were live, Rick? See, he could have been singing to us, guys. He knows all the words. think these things are on steroids tonight. Oh, and by the way, the military was going crazy today. Absolutely crazy. They were doing all kinds of stuff. This is so abnormal. Hey, Wonder Pup. They just don't do it this time of year. I figure maybe, if they wanted heat, they can go to the desert or something, right? Ooh, Frank. Aw. Yeah, he sings some country songs, though. I don't know how he's going to sing the other ones, but he sings country. I didn't say it. I didn't say it, Rick. Frank did. And you keep saying, well, I never. How's your activity, Tony? Is yours picking up or slowing down because of the heat? Any change? You're the voice of reason. mm. I think this is perfect sleeping weather. I think it's 80. I think it's 87. Hey, Nelson. 86, 87 degrees. Come on, Rick, sing it. Yeah. Hi, Elizabeth. Oh my goodness, I'm shaking my head. Can you see that, Rick? Yeah, I hope you don't jinx it either, Tony. It's gotten real quiet around here. I mean, we got the little stuff, but I can't say those aren't cats. Some of the bigger, heavy stuff I can't explain at all. But the other noises I think are just the cats playing. Yeah, it's 87 degrees. I know, I'm like one of those little dolls with their head bobbing around all the time. That's me. I'm always shaking my head. At least I don't roll my eyes. See? Joe's shaking his head. I'm not the only one. Bobblehead. Oh, 87's perfect. Yeah, one of those bobblehead dolls. Yeah. My head's constantly going. See, Barry said shaking my head too. See, I'm not alone. A lot of people shake their heads. No, Chev, sorry. I bet you Rick goes on our chat and changes my name to Bobblehead. Which one bet? She should shake yours, Tommy. Hey, Matt. Rick, Rick, you can actually paint yours in your little creek right. I mean, you can actually plant yours in your little creek right there. It doesn't take nothing to grow them. No, Tim. Hey, Reverb. Mansfield, Arkansas. I mean, you could actually buy the bamboo and grow it there. Forget the creek cane. You can actually grow bamboo. I watched at least 3 or 4 videos. We were going to do that up on the property by Sandy's place. She dug out a great big pit for water, you know. Made herself a little lake there. And we were going to plant bamboo up there. You can do it. Yeah, it does take over. You have to keep weeding it out, but that's what she wanted it for. Oh my goodness. You're going to do a booger trap? Yeah, I'd like to see that. No, that'd be fine. We have nothing but rock up there. She has nothing but rock up there on that hill. Yeah, I bet you they have a fun time trying to get rid of the bamboo if they got a golf course. Well, send it to me. I'll take it. Let her overgrow. No, you can't have any pandas. It's against the law in the United States for you to have pandas. What do you mean? What are you talking about, Matt? Panda steaks. Yeah, you can do that too, Rick. You tell him, Tony. Can you imagine him outside? Hi, Christy. Can you imagine him outside going, Panda, Panda? Really, Reverb, they probably came here. Boy, we had a whole bunch of them earlier. Hey, Michael. How are you? Okay. Uh-oh. So are we going to see Otis? Otis? Good deal, Michael. Christy's not serious. Christy's fun. I bet you someone in here can get her to giggle. You have a bunch of jokesters. Okay, Matt. They didn't say that. They didn't say that on the ones I watched. They didn't say anything about those different kinds. They were just talking about the ones you can grow here and how to grow them. So I guess I have to do more research, huh? Oh, of course, I think the bathtub's a good idea. I'm gonna go turn my air off. I'll be right back. Hey, Shane. About time. Come on, Air, shut off. Good grief. It's taking forever. No, now you're starting with a 1. What do you think about that? I caught you. Ha, 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 ha. Really? Hey, sissy. How close, Michael? Come on, Air, shut off. Good grief, that thing is noisy. Matt did it, of course. Don't be calling her names now, Rick. No. Madam. Welcome. Welcome to our live stream, our crazy world here. How loud was it, Michael? No, tell him I want it colder downstairs. Ask him to make it colder downstairs. Thank you. Love you. That's the reason I can't get the air conditioner shut off. It's craziness here, madam. Oh, Rick's in trouble now. Really, what does it smell like, Michael? I'm not mean, Joe. Rick's in trouble. Ha 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 ha. Really? Is that a normal smell for a Yowie? I mean, from what you've been told, or? You're fine. You're fine, Frank. Poor Frank. What's wrong with Bailey? Yeah, I always have a tendency, Mike, to look in the trees. Yeah, well, Rick hardly ever shows up here, so, you know, he doesn't get numbered. You, on the other hand, get numbered. Yeah, I know what dead possum smells like here. I was just wondering if that's what a normal Yowie smells like. No, they don't. They stink. Hey, Miss Claire. Hi, sweetie. How are you? It is louder than loud tonight. You do not, Matt. Nope. Tommy gets himself in trouble. Hey, Miss Dolly. Did you get my email, hon? Ooh, did you post it already, Michael? That ear just doesn't want to shut off. No, that's not what I call country fresh. Oh, I'd like to see that, Michael. Hey, Blue. Yes, you did. There's 3 Trina Fulmers on Facebook. I didn't know which one was you. Yeah, chat's rolling. Remember, her nickname is Blue. Trina's is. Just in case you guys forgot. Yeah, I see that. Trina Blue. Man, I'm going to have to put it to 80 degrees to shut off that stupid air conditioner. Aw. That was a whole bunch, huh, Claire? Look at you. Jane, Pappy, Lady, Pam, Tommy, Elizabeth, Dolly, Jamie, Barry, Joe, Tim. What about Michael? Oh, really? Wow, Michael. What was added? Just more limbs? Aw, Frank, stop that. You know I love you. Yeah, I wanted to tell you guys, I made a whole $2.36 so far. Woohoo! Okay, alright, Dolly. And a rock? A flat rock? A big rock? Was it set apart from the branches? Yeah, I'm on my way now, aren't I, guys? Hey, don't forget, whoever's going to be here tomorrow, make sure you bring me the new channels, 1K and under. We do the shout out tomorrow. Okay. Yep, it's a start. What do you mean no one on the porch? What are you talking about, Rick? Okay, Trina. Tell him, sissy. Anybody got their earphones on? Well, I don't blame you for not, Reverb. Okay, that's it. Okay, you happy now? Yeah, it is really nice. It's nice out, but in your neck of the woods, there's some other stuff there that we know about, so I don't mind. I mean, I wouldn't go outside, I don't think, either at night. Thank you, Blue. You have competition now, sissy. Oh, no. Tony, why aren't you happy? Oh, my goodness. You know, you're not allowed to have cookies now anyway. Yeah, you said that, Reverb. I want to see it. portal? Can you guys not hear that faraway howl? I mean, it's like going non-stop. Oh, it's kind of hard to hear. Can you not hear that? I try to tell her that, Sissy. She just has to get to know them. I just ignore them when they get that way, and so do you. Yeah, he's called me worse. Welcome back, Michael. Did you get kicked out? Yeah, you thought it was Rick, didn't you, Reverb? No, he's not going to defend himself, Joe, because he knows he does it. Yeah, last night we had bunches of portals. I don't know what was going on. Were you here at the end, Michael? Hello to all my people in the wings. Love you, love you. Where's the Rick not Rick? He's not here yet. Hi, Kathina. Oh, I see. There's the Rick. Oh, Kathina. Let me go get that other phone. Hold on a second, Michael. Ouch. I just kicked the stupid chair. Oh, nice picture. Michael, when are you going to start posting this stuff? You have some really good pictures. You need to start posting them. Can't you just get a collage of them together and put some background music on it and put them up? No, they're not Smurfs. They're Scrubs, remember? Get him, Claire. How you doing, Kathina? Stink bait. Who are you calling stink bait? Exactly, Sissy. I'm confused. Ah, he's crazy. Oh my goodness. What the heck is that? Get on it, Michael. Hurry up. When it starts to filter or buffer, we call it portal. And I can't believe you guys just didn't hear that. He's an egg. He's a booger egg. Yeah, I just talked to Nala. One of you guys needs to backtrack and listen to that. Yeah, Nala was on last night. We prayed for her. I wish there was a way for me to get rid of some of the cricket noises. Dang. Oh my goodness. My yard's too big for yard goat. Sissy, I'm surprised you're not throwing something at him. Something just got thrown. I just heard, listen, seriously guys, I just heard, when I said it before, I heard talking. Hey, Digga. I don't have any grass out here, Joe. Not in the front yard anyway. Yeah, I know, Sissy, me too. Every time he pops up live, he just ignores us. Calls us names. Yep, they're all over in the trees. I heard something thrown. I heard talking. You heard it, Pam? Thank God somebody else heard it. No, I didn't, Tony. We're not going to do anything until we get the blades. It's not going to do us any good anyway. Who wants donuts? Rick? Fry? No, I'm up in my window. Yep, kitties were all fine. Uh-huh. I don't know why I don't believe you, Tommy. You hear that? I'm Mike. How are you? Oh no, Rick, really? No, it's not a dog. We don't have a dog here. Except for Bella, and she's sleeping. No, they can't have donuts. Okay, Rick. That's not good, kitty missing. Still missing a few, Mike, but there are a lot of people in here tonight. Poor kitty. I don't know where it went. Yeah. He said Gray Cat's been missing. Oh gosh, don't tell him that, Joe. He'll be trying to sell off more booger and cats. Hey Brian, how are you? Watch your ears. Do you hear me? Watch your ears. Take your earphones out. Turn your volume down. I'm waiting for all the okays. That's right. Well, Pam is here. Christy's here. Jules isn't here. Nita's not here. Oh, he doesn't say I love you to me anymore either. Ready? Hey! Too late, Matt. Hey, Pamela. Now, see, that shut up that howling. Yeah, I told Pam we missed her, but she can't be here because of the timing. That's just downright freaky. Okay, so for you guys that didn't hear it, ever since I opened the window, there's been a howling. Way out there pretty far, but it's kind of steady. Like a moaning howling, just long, just kept going and going and going. And when I just said, hey, it stopped. Now I hear nothing. No, it's not a DM. Take that back, Joe. I don't know, sissy. Sometimes I actually think that's what it is, honestly. When I get that moan out here, either one passed away or somebody's missing or one's looking for a girlfriend or a boyfriend, I don't know. I don't know if it's singing or not. I can't tell, it's just too far away. I don't think I'd hear you from here, Wonder. What did Matt say? I missed it. Okay, Tony, don't you dare go outside. Oh, that sounds good, Pappy. Okay, Reverb. I have no idea. Yeah, me too, sissy. I really wish I knew the difference. And this is not the same time of year as last year when I heard that sound, but, the mournful howl. Yeah, there's something going on out there. Hello? You go walk that way. I'm not going out there. Reverb was cussing. Yeah, me too, Wonder Pup. I doubt it, Tommy. Yeah, but as soon as I got to my end of my driveway, I'd lose you guys. I don't even get to the end of the driveway before I lose you. Now I can go ahead and end the live chat and go out. Chicken poop's not a bad. Yeah, you'll lose me as soon as I walk to the end, not even to the end of my driveway, the end of my truck. I think I heard a cat. Who's mean, Joe? Okay, I can do that. Yep, Tommy's being watched tonight. Oh, I hope she can eat, Shane. DM's not gonna get me. We still gotta get you the medicine for her stomach, but it requires a phone call, Shane. Yeah, I pray she can too. It'd be nice. I know the feeling. Isn't Waffle House the place that come up with the smothered, covered, something or other? Hush, Joe. Go to sleep. I remember that years ago. I haven't eaten at a Waffle House in God knows how many years. Last time we went to a Waffle House here in Arkansas, they had cockroaches running all over the walls. We sat down long enough. She came up to get us coffee, and we said, "We're out of here." Ugh. Yeah, I thought it was that place that did that. Yeah, it was gross. I mean, literally, they were crawling all over the walls while we were sitting there. It's just, ugh, disgusting. My favorite place. You got 2 flowers, Rick? Last place I liked where I ate was Denny's. They had really good breakfasts. And I whistled. Rick, do you have activity? Where'd you get the flowers? Did they put them on your porch or something? That's because you're always in trouble, Tommy. Yeah, since my daughter-in-law stopped working there, I don't eat there anymore. Because when she cooked, the food was great. Rick, do you have activity right now? Yep, we know. I'm pretty sure the one that ran away laughing last year on his video was a female. Didn't it sound high-pitched to you guys? I swear that was a young girl, a young female booger. She boogers in love. Aww. Oh, really? You want to go live, Rick? No, didn't you guys see it? Whoever stayed after Rick said goodbye and we were still chatting when they were asking me if I was going to go live. Did you not see that pop up that said the guy's name? Yeah, well, I copied it and pasted it and gave it to. I wasn't going to say his name, but I copied and pasted it and put it on his private chat. Who are we talking to, Frank? Are we talking to Frank or Otis? There's a big difference between the two of them. Oh, Claire. Rick, are you going to go live? Do you have activity? Yep, Frank is sober. Yeah, I hate it when I see nastiness. Uh, what the heck? What? It's not my stomach. It's gotta be a cat. It's gotta be a cat. Sounds like a ghost. It does, doesn't it? It's a cat. What the heck? It is creepy. It's a cat, right, Pam? Kitty, kitty, kitty. Pappy. Stop it, Joe. Okay, Blue. I have no idea, Nelson. This is really freaky. Stop it, Joe. It is not. Knock it off. You're being mean. Kitty, 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 kitty. Kitty. Shut up. He's not listening to me. Catman. Catman sounds good. Sounds like a cat. Freaky cat. It's too close, guys. It's right by my truck. Kitty, kitty. Kitty, kitty. Are you even a cat? I gotta go look. I can't handle it. No, the camera's not pointing at it. It sounds like a cat. It's just freaky sounding. Hello? You tell him, Rick. Sure they do if they're in heat or something. No. Sounds like a cat. And you're right, it does sound like a cat that's got something in its mouth it's trying to kill, but I've never heard it do this before. Almost sounds like a howl, don't it? Hey, Belle. That's a cat. That's a freaky cat. No, I can't see anything. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like a cat. It's just me. It's just a weird sound. King of Warhawks. That's right. Yeah, I bet you the kids are all sleeping. I'm going to go out and investigate. You guys stay here. I'll be right back. I'm going to get my flashlight. I don't see a thing, guys. There's no cat under my truck. What the heck? Don't you think that sky's kind of odd? It stopped as soon as I went out there. I shined a light underneath there. This is really strange. I have no stinking idea. I really have no idea. It was a cat. It sounded just like a cat. You know, and it did sound like the cat was maybe had prey in its mouth or something, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it did sound like that, but I went out and shined my flashlight. You guys didn't see me using the flashlight? Good night, Shane. Hope you guys have a good meal, hon. That was just freaky. Give your wife hugs for us. Stupid air conditioner. My light shining on him wouldn't have stopped that, Joe. It's the legend of Boggy Cat. Ah, it's cute. Oh, I know. That's why everybody keeps saying portal on this one. It just keeps doing that. I just got a YouTube notification. Don't know what that's about either. I'm gonna go turn that stupid air off. God bless America. I'm not mean. Well, I can be, but I'll be right back. Did Rick go live? Finally. Whew. I don't know, that's just weird. Hey, David. Flower. I hear movement. Flower. Hey, Nan. You're in a portal, Tony. What is going on? Is it mine? I'm sorry, Mike. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I promise. I'll warn you next time. Hey, Maury. Welcome back. He doesn't cloak. They usually respond to it here, Digga. Okay. Hey, Jeff. Welcome back. Tony didn't take his hat with him. He went out unprotected. Oh, bad, bad Tony. Bad Tony. The worst part when Tony goes out is when he doesn't come back and we're still live, you know? We're like waiting. That's because you don't love us anymore, Rick. You used to say, love you guys, all the time. You stopped saying it. It must be the heat. And the young drivers that he has to deal with at his job. Well, there you go, Claire. At least he loves somebody. Yeah, your ears must be burning, jokes. We talk about you all the time. Aww, poor booger. Do you hear that, sissy? No comment. Oh, that's right, sissy is. He's a nerd. He's an egg nerd booger. Well, welcome back, Maury. I didn't see anything out there. No, David, it's always that way. It's always that way here. Well, Rick doesn't show it very often, but when he does, boy, everybody has fun with him. Oh, Rick. Hey, Gator. How you doing, hon? Stop that crying. We'll have none of that tonight. Come on, guys. Poor Rick. Poor, poor Rick. You're getting it back, Rick. This is perfect. See, there's the howl again. Well, that way she's protected from the cats. I don't know, David, you have to stand in line. Ooh, you guys are all on fire tonight. What is it, full moon? Oh, I have no idea. I have no idea, Rick. Just out of the blue he shows up. Although I was told that he's got, somebody's gotten into his channel or something, or pretending that they're him. They started a new channel, it sounds just like his. I was paying attention. And yeah, I know you're still at one, Tommy. He's trolling you, Matt? Don't know, Rick. Other Rick. Rick 2. Oh my goodness. Why can't we all just get along? He did? Well, yeah, he did once, but like I said, I was talking to somebody who said that they believe that he's got somebody that's trolling him, that's trolling other people in his name. Exactly. Yes, we have 2 Ricks now. You're out of the portal. Welcome back, Tony. Hey, Ryan. Okay, hon, take care. God bless. I don't know who's pretending to be whom. That I don't understand it, and I just ignore it. It's going too fast, Joe. We can't keep up. Yep. Space, the final frontier. We have no idea what's going on. Oh, Frank wants to go back to bashing Rick. I have no idea, Pam. I have no idea. This whole thing is a mystery to me. I don't know who's who. I just don't. I don't know. Why, he can't put you in timeout. I am too, Maury. But I think Frank's right. Let's go back to picking on Rick. Me too. So, see, I don't know who half those people are. I mean, I've got some comments on some of my chats, so I've never heard of these people. Hi, Quinn. No, Mari, stop it. Now, see, I go outside and everything gets quiet. Hey, Attic Mike, how are you? Well, everybody give him a hug then. Come on, this group is good at it. Give Rick Woodburger Farm a hug. Joe says no. Okay, Tony. I think mine was a cat. Good night, Mike. I'm sorry. Anyways, God bless, hon. You better not have a donut. You're going to get a strike, too. So what is who call whom, Attic Mike? Yes, Lady in the Woods. You guys are hysterical tonight. Good grief. You can call me D also, Mike. There's so many D's in here, though. Oh my goodness. I'm doing okay. How are you, Mike? Good night, Digga. God bless, hon. Aw, thank you, Michael. No, you didn't, Matt. That's not true. Good night, Digga. Thank you, Frank. You're sweet. Okay, Blue. Well, how do you know if you're not there, Rick? If I don't get that. Well, you can tell a difference in the color of whatever it is that's smoking, right? God bless you too, Mike. Last I heard, I think total it'll be 6 weeks. I saw that blue. Okay, now I know which one you are. Okay, got it. No, I don't want to be called Booty, thank you. Don't think so. And Kevin should be here next weekend. Don't call me Booty. Ooh, that's nasty. Exactly, Blue. Alright, watch your ears. It's not going to be loud, but you have headphones on. I don't want anybody to yell at me, so I'm going to whistle and yell again. Why not, Mike? Oh my gosh. You're doing something. Okay, but watch your ears. I'm not going to warn you again. How, Mike? From here? That's not even funny, Joe. That's nasty. Kind of late. I gave you a warning. Nobody listened. That's what you do to us all the time, Rick. What other place earlier? What are you talking about, Mike? I got it, Tommy. Thank you anyway. Oh, cool. I'm glad you got invited. I can't hear anything either. He does. Mine's not even a quarter of what he does. From Rick's channel, Mike, on the barn. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, Tommy's going to get himself in trouble if he talks about feed. He's not supposed to be eating this late. He knows it. shooters. What shooters, D? Okay, Mike. Hey, Opal. What kind of sick, Opal? Yes, we'll definitely keep you in our prayers, hon. But what kind of sick are you? If you don't mind me asking. Flu or cold or... Tree Trimmer 82, titled, okay, I'll check it out, Mike. Thank you. I'm ignoring you. Aw, don't cry, Opal. Good night, Egg. Still above ground, Opal. We'll definitely keep you in our prayers tonight. Promise you that, hon. Hope you get better soon. Hey, Cryptid. Thank you so much for stopping by, Cryptid. We'll pray for you, Opal. COPD. Okay, Mike. I'm glad you stopped by, Cryptid. It's always nice to see you. Okay, sweet. Sweet. I will check it out. He's probably gone already. Christy. He said he just stopped in. Oops. Coffee. Oh, wow, Opal. Hey, Opal, can you email me, hon? Okay, are you putting up new videos, or are you out, or are you working, Cryptid? Are you out boogering, or are you working, or... Okay, well, take care, hon. Be blessed. Can someone please put up my email address for Opal? Please? Well, hello, Lindy. I totally missed what you said. Okay. Opal, please email me. ddjs2000@cox.net. I have some information for you, hon. Thank you, Pappy. I missed what Lindy said completely. It went by too fast. Night, Cryptid. Be careful. Thank you, baby. You are too, hon. Somebody copy paste what Lindy said so I can read it. Sooner the better, Opal. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Oh, awesome. Fantastic. Praise God. Oh, I love to hear praise reports. Awesome, Lindy. Awesome, awesome. Okay, Pam. Love you. Good night. God bless. Whoa. Oh. Yeah, we love you too, Lindy. And that's awesome. Rick, behave yourself. You never behave yourself. Awesome. That's so good to hear, hon. Yes, you gotta have hope. Always have to have hope. Oh my goodness, Rick. Sissy, are you paying attention? That's amazing. Absolutely amazing, Lindy. I am going to be singing praises tonight. Are you not shaking your head, Sissy? Ah, it's adorable. What am I going to do with you guys? I have the same Kermit the Frog. Yes, Rick's a bad boy. Oh my goodness. You are so bad, Rick. Yeah, he's back. I'm going to take a picture of the one I've got here. I'll talk to you in a minute, Chev. And Opal, I can't copy paste your email address from here, hun. So if you'll write down mine, ddjs2000@cox.net, then I can respond to you, but I can't do anything on my phone. I can't even copy that. And when I play it back, it doesn't show the live chat. Oh my goodness, that's awesome to hear. Sweet. 48 staples out. Good grief. Good grief. Thank you, Rick. Don't call me that. I don't like that name. You'll make me cry. I mean it. And no, I don't have to get thick skin. Thank you, Miss Claire. Somebody loves me. Hi, Irina. Oh my goodness, my head is shaking like crazy. How are you doing, Irina? I'm older than you are, Joe, so hush. Welcome back, Belle. No. You should have heard this really weird cat earlier, Lindy. It was just the freakiest sound. It sounded like the cat was chewing on a rat or something. It just made the weirdest sound. Go to bed, Booger. Why are you stressed, Irina? Yeah, uh-huh. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh. I thought you were tired. Go to bed. Bad egg is right. Why are you stressed out, Irina? Daughter again? I believe in him. I don't believe him, but I believe in him. Well, good. That means I know what to pray for, Irina. That we know what to pray for. Oh, you boys, I'm telling you. Okay, we're on it, Irina. And Chev, you need to stop worrying. She's coming right along, Irina. You know, this is the hard days. Hey, hey, Frank. Hey, hey, hey. Anytime, that's what we're here for, Opal. That's what we're here for. Well, I'm glad he's here. Rick, you're a troublemaker.
Sissy, I cannot believe you're so quiet. Yes, that's Woodburger Farm right there, Rick. He's being bad tonight. He must have eaten some bad catfish. Made him crazy. Crazy. Yeah, don't ask. Oh boy, you're right, Joe. Oh my. Okay, please do that, Opal. God bless you too, hon. You too. Oh my gosh. See, Rick, now you got her speechless. Yeah, he must have done something. I don't know. Can't tell you. I can't even get. I don't even want to begin to guess. Too much heat, I think, is what it is. Rick doesn't do well on the heat. Ooh, Sissy, look at, he just called you out. Hold on, Blue. No, they found him, Opal. Of course, he didn't get one for Sissy yet. He keeps promising Sissy he's going to give her one, but he doesn't, you know. You know how that is. Sorry, guys, but I'm watching outside. Yeah, uh-huh. Sure, Rick. Good night, Miss Christy. I hope you sleep well, hon. God bless you. We love you, Christy. Say good night to your mama for me, please. Rick didn't share it. Dang it. Ooh. Haha. That's right, Christy. Tell him. They're crazy tonight, aren't they, Lindy? I don't know. Someone ate something bad. You can always ask to borrow Kermit the Frog. You can step on his head. Aww. Tony, you're still singing? Oh, Tony's stuck. You're too sweet, Christy. I didn't say a word. It's okay, Rena. It'll come to you. Night, Christy. She forced you to take an oxy? Are you hurting that bad, Tommy? And those things would kill me. Okay, Opal. Love you too. God bless, hon. Ooh, Michael's got the picture. Didn't he though, Frank? I wouldn't speak that in. Oh, really? That's good to hear, Lindy. Yeah, I know, Michael. I just, yeah. Good night, Rick. Hope you sleep well. God bless. And we love you too. Even though you don't love us anymore. Wow, that is really cool. That is really good to hear, Lindy. I cannot believe that. They wouldn't do that here anywhere. Yeah, it's usually Bob and Matt and Chev and Tony and all the rest of you boys. Yes, Sissy, he does. He loves you. Oh, you're gonna get your numbers as you're going out the door, right, Tommy? Yeah, but look where you're at, Lindy. That wouldn't happen here. Just jokesters. All you boys being jokesters. But it's nice to see Rick in here. Well, 40 is a special number. Hey, Chris. Welcome, welcome. Hey, sometimes it takes that long, Lindy. I've been praying for a couple of things for years. Yeah, Chev, how come I can't? How you doing, Chris? Yep, Chev's in trouble. I don't see any of his pics. I mean, none. Not one. Okay, Matt. I know you had a long day. God bless you, hon. I'm glad you were able to do what you did today. I'm really, really, really happy for you. Lots of prayers. Good night, Sissy. And thank you, hon. Appreciate you. Love you. And many, many blessings. Tony, you're going to get yourself in trouble. I heard a pop. Aren't they though, Lindy? I said his is better than Nat Geo Wild. Yeah, I hate it when people are in pain. Okay, so who's ready for a story? Okay, it's story time. No, Claire, don't worry. It's okay, Claire. You poor thing. Ah. Okay, so here's how this one went. Alright, this was my trip to Honabi. How many of you guys remember that story? Yeah, maybe you will. I don't know. I am not hearing anything. But we'll see. Anyways, this was my first encounter. First of all, for green eggs and ham. Why, you want to go to sleep, Frank? Well, you go to sleep anyway with my voice, so. Honabi, the ape. Honabi. Yeah. Anyway, so we headed down to Honabi, and I was definitely not a believer. I mean, I had watched some stuff, and, you know, we had heard about it, and blah, 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 and I was like, okay, you know, this, you know, I spent some time, not all, I didn't spend all my life in the woods, you know, just some time, because I spent a lot of time outdoors, but I lived in the city, and we had a local park, so that's where I would spend a lot of my weekends, is down at that local park. And it was a national park, you know, so, and a lot of stuff happened down there, but I didn't attribute it to anything, and I never saw anything. But I never even heard of Bigfoot. I didn't even hear of Patty. I never even heard the story. I mean, I was on a completely different planet. So, anyways, here I am. This is in 2014. 2014? I think it was 2014. Anyway, no, I hadn't even met Robert yet. So, anyway, I go down to Honabi and my husband, myself and my grandkids. And we walk around, we're looking at stuff, and, it was no big deal. And we didn't go in and listen because we weren't going to pay the money. We're spending enough money on the kids with all the food and stuff you buy. But then someone invited us and told us that they had story time, right? And so, story time just means that you all gather around in this little area, and they put a fire in there in the middle, and then people come up and tell their stories. So we're all sitting around this fire, and we're listening to the stories, and there's this guy that's up there, and he's talking. And I went up to ask him a question. And after him and I talked, because I told him, I said, I'm sorry, but I don't believe in these things. He invited me to an expedition that they were having. Okay, now we went up there in the first week of October, because that's when Honabi usually has their conferences and stuff, right? And then the expeditions were like the week later and a week later and a week later or whatever. I don't know how many they had, but I think they had like 3 or 4 after that. So anyways, all I know it was blasted cold, really cold. And I'm a freeze baby, okay? I mean, I don't have much meat on my bones, and I was freezing to death. But he invited us. So Sandy and I went, and the first night that we were there, the first time I'd gone, he had taken us up to the top of this. He'd used the ATVs, and he would take one of us at a time. There was 3 ATVs, and they would take us one at a time up to the top of this ridge. I think it was like 38, something like that, about 38 degrees. Anyway, big rip-roaring fire down at the main camp, but he had taken us up on top of this ridge, and he said they have a lot of activity up there. And when he goes up, he drops me off, but I don't see anybody. I see chairs up there, but I don't see anybody, and I don't hear anybody. And I don't have a flashlight, I've got my my pistol, I'm armed, but I'm sitting there. I just went and sat down in a chair, and he takes off. So I'm sitting there, and I'm looking up at the stars because I want my eyes to adjust to the dark. Anyway, so I'm just got my head leaned back, and I'm checking out the stars, and I am getting adjusted, and all of a sudden I hear this stick break behind me. So I swung around, and I went to go grab my gun, and the guy says, it's okay, it's okay. He goes, it's just me, and I was like, oh my goodness. And he comes walking up, and he's got these night vision goggles. They're apparently military grade. And he goes, do you want to look out of these? And I said, sure. Well, I'll never do that again anyway, because my eyes were blinded for like 20 minutes. But I went ahead and I looked. I didn't see anything, so I just gave them back. I wasn't really interested in those anyway. I didn't know enough about it, because remember, I had never even been out, on an expedition or nothing. So we're sitting there, and then everybody, slowly he brings everybody up, and so the other ATVs bring people, and there was like, I think there was 2, 4, 6, maybe 7, 8 people max that was up there. So we're, they kind of congregate together, and people are walking off, and I am literally frozen, and the chairs are up there, metal chairs, and I am shivering. I'm so cold. And even though I had 3 sets of pants, 2 sets of pants on, 3 shirts, coat, gloves, boots. I was freezing. Anyway, so I'm sitting there, and I'm not really interested. And so one of the girls says, she goes, come over here with me. She goes, if you walk around, she says, you're going to get warmer. So I said, yeah, I'll start sweating, and I'll really get in trouble. So she gives me this, this poncho thing to put on. You step into it, and it goes, it's a full body, and it covers your head. So I put that on, and it blocked the wind, so I got warmer. And then all of a sudden we heard something thrown out of the woods, and it was a small rock. Well, my brain said they had all this planned, okay? They bring people out there. They've been doing it for years, and they have it all planned. They get people up there in the woods that throw stuff and make noises. It's just a big fiasco and, a joke. That's really what I thought. So, a stick gets thrown and a rock gets thrown, and everybody's freaking out. Oh, did you hear that? Did you hear that? And the lead guy says, watch up there on the very top, because we weren't on the very top ridge. There was one probably about a quarter mile away from us that was up higher. And you can see between the trees, the moonlight between the trees. So you can clearly see the ridge line. And he said, you watch up there, and a lot of times you'll see, them cross between them. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, okay. He's got people up there, too. So they're pointing stuff out, and I'm just, I'm really not interested because there was nothing specific. I was waiting for something. And, hey, Shadow, I'm waiting for, something major to happen, someone to jump out in a suit or, a big tree break or a howl or, whatever. Hi, who's here? And this is what I'm waiting. I'm waiting for all this stuff to happen, and none of this happens. So they come back, and we sit down, and he says to me, he goes, you still cold? And I said, I'm freezing. And he said, you want to go back? And I said, yes, absolutely. And I knew I had more clothes, in the place we were staying, which was a little, it's a camp area for kids. So they're like dorms, there's just a great big room with like 20 bunk beds in them. So anyway, we get back, and I'm sitting by the fire, and the boys, all the guys that were in the group said, good night, we're going to bed. And I was like, yeah. So they take off, and it leaves us girls sitting there. Now there was 5 of us girls sitting there. Nope, 1, 2, 3. There was 4 of us girls sitting there, and everybody else went to bed. And we're sitting there, and we're talking, and they're asking questions, and telling their stories and stuff. And all of a sudden, we heard this howl. Now, the howl was really, really, really loud, but you could tell it was far away, almost like it was in a ravine, and you were on the opposite side of the ravine. It just kind of, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but anyways, it was really loud. Now, I've heard coyotes and all the rest of the, animals out there, but this was not something I'd heard before. It kind of sounded like a coyote, but much louder and much deeper. So we were like, well, that's our cue, let's go. We got up and went to turn around and leave, and we heard something thrown. So by that time, all of us were like, oh, let's get out of here. So we all went to our bunks. Well, nobody else but me smoked, right? And that was in our bunk because Sandy was already asleep. And so I went into the bathroom, and I lit a cigarette because you're not supposed to smoke in there, right? So I went in the bathroom, I lit a cigarette. Now the window, I'm sitting on the closed toilet, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm smoking a cigarette. And there's a shower area next to me, and there's a window above it. Well, when I walked over to the window to flick my ashes out the window, I had to reach my hand. I'm 5'7". I had to reach my hand way up before I could put my hand in. So I'm imagining it was probably about 6.5 foot, high. I don't know exactly how high, but I'm guesstimating that's about how high it was. Anyway, so I go back and I sit down, and I figure I'll just ash in my hand, and then I'll put the cigarette out when I'm done, and blah, blah, blah. So I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden there's a light, like right, the one you're seeing right now, there's one right outside the window. I mean, right outside the window, just like what you're looking at right here. And all of a sudden it blacks out. And I look up there, and I was like, what the heck? It's got to be pretty tall to black that out. So I go to the window, and I'm trying to jump up there to look out the window, and I can't see nothing. And I'm sitting there, I'm listening. I want to hear something. I don't hear nothing either. So I was like, whatever. So I just went to bed. Well, I listen to people's breathing. That's my nursing part of me, so I can tell when people are sleeping. So Sandy's sleeping, and the other girl's sleeping, and the other girl was on the other side with her husband. And all of a sudden, this girl wakes up, and she's freaked out. She's crying, and I'm like, what is going on? And she said, they're going to come in here. They're going to come in here. And I said, who is? And she goes, the Sasquatch. She goes, I can hear him out there. And she's freaking out. And I'm like, what the heck? So I take a big chair, and I walk over to the door, because there's no locks on these doors, right? And I take this big chair, and I go over, and I shove it underneath the handle. And I said, it's okay. And she goes, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here. I said, you're fine. I said, I'm armed. You're armed. I said, nothing. I said, you really believe that there's Bigfoot out here? And she said, yes, I do. And I said, well, I don't. So anyway, so night 2. Okay, we got up next morning and everything. We went about our business. And night 2 was my first, interactions with him. I can't really say sighting, because it's not like I didn't see anything but eyes. Let's just put it that way. The first expedition I went to. So the second night, we go down to another area. We're not on top. We're now down at the bottom, right? And there's 2 sections. He divides us up. One goes over by the river, and the rest of us are over in this other section. Now, first of all, before the sun goes down, he's showing us the surroundings. He wants everybody to see what's going on. And he points up in this one direction. He goes, now, everybody, I want you to look up here, because when the sun goes down up there on that hill, you're going to think it's eye shine, but it's not. He said that is actually the cabins up there, but it just shines enough through the trees that people always mistake it for eye shine. So we're like, okay. Well, my job was, and I made it my job, to start the fire. And of course, I had to make a big rip-roaring fire because I was freezing. And the guys are doing other stuff, and they're getting their equipment set up, for the parabolic and the recorders, and they have the recorders. They play back babies crying and howling and all kinds of stuff. They didn't do it that night, but they had it all set up, and they were kind of showing us what they were doing. Well, I'm still walking around thinking this is a joke, and I'm waiting for someone to jump out. The same thing as I did the night before, because I didn't believe at all. I really just didn't believe. I thought it'd be cool if they existed, but that was my extent. And I thought this whole setup at Honubby was a joke. Well, anyway, while I'm walking around picking up sticks to throw on the fire, these guys are occupied, and I hear a stick break in front of me. And it couldn't have been maybe 15 feet, max 20 feet in front of me. 20 feet, not 20 yards, 20 feet. And I look up and I see eye shine, but it's not, excuse me, close enough together that it could have been, and it's not exactly the direction that guy had pointed out. And they were a little bit further apart, and they blinked. So I called the guy over and I said, you might want to see this. He goes, no, I told you that's, and I said, no. I said, do they blink? He goes, well, it could be the leaves. I said, no, I don't think so. So he comes walking over and he goes, oh, they're here. And I was like, who's here? He goes, the Sasquatch. And I said, yeah, okay. And he starts laughing. And then I turn around to start putting the wood that I had gathered on the fire, and all of a sudden, I heard what sounded like a stampede. The ground was shaking, like someone had let probably 20 to 30 horses out of a barn or out of a corral and let them run down the hill. Okay, that's exactly what it sounded like. And I was like, holy crap. And I squished myself between the two guys that were standing there, and I covered my eyes. I was like, what the heck is that? And I mean, literally, my hands were shaking. And he said, oh, they're all coming in. I said, what the heck are you talking about? He goes, yeah, they're coming down to see who's here. I said, you guys are crazy. He goes, no, I'm serious. He goes, don't worry about it. They're not going to hurt you. And I said, are you nuts? And he said, no, I'm very serious. And I was like, okay. Well, anyways, he had these radios, two-way radios, and he was talking to the other group, and he goes, we got activity. He goes, yeah, we heard them. He goes, can we swap places? He goes, because we're getting nothing over here by the water. And we were like, he said, okay. And I said, well, good, I'm out of here. I want to go to the other side. And I wasn't terrified, that kind of scared. I didn't see anything. I didn't know what was going on out there. And so, anyway. So we start walking to the other side. Now, they don't use flashlights. These guys know the trail from one side to the other. Hey, Brown. And so they don't use flashlights. And the whole time we're walking, and I don't know how far away it is, maybe, 50 yards, in between each one. And we're walking in complete darkness, and I hear this crunching noise alongside of us. And I stop, and he stops. He goes, what's the matter? And I said, I hear walking over here. And he goes, yeah, I heard that too. He goes, they're just trailing us. He goes, let's just keep going. I said, what? And I said, that sounds pretty heavy. He goes, yeah. He goes, just let's go. Let's walk. I was like, oh my gosh. So as we're walking, whenever we were walking, it was walking. Whenever we stopped, it would stop. And I just thought, and I had to put in my head that I thought that they had people out there that were doing that, right? So we get to the other side, and all the group that was over there, which Sandy was included. She goes, did you see anything? And I said, did you hear all that noise? She goes, yeah, I heard it. I felt it on the ground. And I said, do you think this is real? And she goes, I don't know. And the guys just started laughing at us because, neither one of us believed, really. So now they switch places, and now I'm on the other side. Now I got to build that fire up because they had this little teeny fire. Of course, I needed a big one. And so I'm over there, I'm filling up the fire, and this guy's talking to me, and, the girls over there, and they're sitting down talking to each other, about something, I forgot. It had nothing to do with Sasquatch. But all of a sudden, I got this, and remember, I'm an EMT, right, at that point, and a nurse. And I know the signs and symptoms for heart failure, anyway, or anxiety. So anyways, I'm standing there, and all of a sudden, it felt like someone was sitting on my chest. I got this really strange, tingly feeling all over. The hair on the back of my neck stood up, and it felt like someone was sitting on my chest. And I was like, and I took a deep breath, and I was like, what the heck? And the guy says, what's the matter, Dee? And I said, nothing. He goes, really, what's the matter? And I said, I just got this really weird feeling. He goes, like what? Explain it to me. And I said, like something sitting on my chest. And I said, and my body's all tingly, you know? So, anyway, excuse me. So he said, oh, they're just too close. And I said, what? He goes, they're just too close. He goes, ask them to back off, and they will. And I was like, I started laughing. I was like, yeah, okay. And I didn't say anything, you know. And I said, what, they can, you know, mind read or something? He goes, no, it's just like an animal. They pick up, you know, your feelings. So I just ignored him. And I'm picking up sticks, and I'm throwing it on the fire because the sticks are around. Remember, they use this area all the time for all their expeditions. So there wasn't a whole bunch of downed wood close by. I would have had to go on out into the darkness to get some of the wood. And I wasn't about to go out there without, you know, flashlight or something because I didn't know my way around there, right? So anyways, a few minutes had gone by. I'd say probably about 10, 15 minutes. And he said, you feel better? And I said, yep. And I didn't. And then just for the heck of it, I said, you know, in my head, I said, will you please back off? You're too close and you're scaring me. And all of a sudden, that feeling just disappeared. I mean, from beginning to end, that feeling just disappeared. And I looked at him, you know, the guy was sitting there, and he looked at me because he's probably saying to himself, what the heck? He goes, what's the matter? And I said, I just asked them to back off, and they did. I said, the feeling went away, and he starts laughing. I was like, whatever. So we go back, and now we're because we didn't use let me stop before that. Before we left, all of us had gathered on the one side where all the ATVs were, where we were first. And he says, I'm going to do something that's going to make them mad. He goes, and then we're going to have to leave. And I said, what are you going to do? And then he said, he goes, I'm going to make a call. He goes, it's really going to tick them off. So we're all kind of standing around waiting, and all of a sudden he does this like monkey call, right? It sounds like gorilla apes. And I watched, guys, that set of eyes go from a yellow color to an amber color, almost a red. And all of a sudden, these limbs started crashing and breaking. Now, at that point, I was pretty nervous. And he said, all right, let's go. We put out the fire real quick. We jumped on the ATVs, and we turned around, and we left. And when we got to about 3/4 of the way out, that's the way we had come in, the whole ATV trail was loaded with big, huge logs. We had to get out, move everything, and he tried to move around them. And we finally got an area that we can move around, and we went around them, and we got back up to the camp area. Well, anyways, excuse me. We got back up to the camp area, and it's dark now. But the area that you walk like during the conference, where they have all the food and the concessions and stuff like that, all that's lit up by the night lights. So it was pretty light. And he decided, we were talking and everything, and he decided to walk us girls. We changed from the big bunkhouse that we were staying to an A-frame. Now, right in front of the A-frame, okay, good night, Tommy. Thank you. God bless you, hon. I hope you feel better. Anyway, in front of, here comes a cat. In front of that A-frame, they had a tornado the year before, and so what they did was they piled up all the debris that was left over that they didn't cut up for firewood and stuff, and they piled it in this great big huge pile. So it was probably about 15 foot high. I'm thinking it's about 15 foot high. And we were staying in the A-frame. Well, he started walking us towards that A-frame, right? And as we were walking, a rock got thrown right between two of us girls. I mean, it landed dead square in the middle between us two girls. And we were searching around trying to find out who would throw a rock that would land perfectly between us. It didn't hit any of us. It just landed right between us, right? So, anyway, so we start laughing. I said, I need to go back and get some coffee. And he says, well, he says down there, he goes, I can take you on the ATV, or he says, you can just walk down there. And I said, well, I'll just walk down there. So I asked Sandy if she wanted to go, and she said no, she didn't want to go. So I walked down there to the commissary, or whatever you want to call that place, and I got myself a cup of coffee, and I started coming back. Well, all the guys were still standing outside, and Sandy was standing with them. The rest of the ladies had gone to bed. And as I got up to the guys, I heard a noise off to my right, which faces the street, you know, main road out there, and that's where the guys' cabins were. And my cabin's directly in front of me, probably about 100 yards. And so as I'm walking up to them, I hear this noise to my right. And all the guys spin around because they hear it too. And then wham! I mean, louder than you can possibly imagine. They threw a great big piece of a tree, and it landed on the metal roof of the cabin the guys were staying on. And they were like, oh my gosh. And between me and the guys was a little shed type place that they kind of use as a shower area. And then the guys' cabin, there's a space between it, probably maybe about 8 to 10 feet. That's about it. And one of the guys said, oh my gosh, did you see that? He goes, Dee, get over here. So I go over to him because, you know, he's pointing to this direction. I didn't see anything. You know, they said they saw it run between the two, and it was heading over the direction where I was standing. So they told me to come over to where they were. Well, by that time I was like, okay, I've had enough. And I said, come on, Sandy, let's go. And I take my coffee and we go. Anyway, so we go back to the A-frame, and that's where we spend the night, at the A-frame. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is craziness. So that was my my first time going to Honabi on an expedition. I got back home, I told my husband, you know, about the stuff that happened. You know, I told my kids, you know, and I don't think anybody really believed me, you know. I mean, but I know, I know what I heard, you know, and I know what I felt, you know, the ground moving the way it did. And I went back and checked before I left, guys. And remember that hill I told you about? That hill went straight up and down. I don't even think horses could have gone down that hill without falling to their deaths. I mean, it went straight down. It was just a sheer drop-off. If anybody's been to Honabi on that backside, it's a sheer drop-off. And I couldn't imagine, you know, horses running down there. And I was looking for prints and all kinds of stuff. I mean, it was just flat-out weird. Anyways, the second time I went to Honabi is when I saw my first one, but we'll save that for another night, right? Because you guys are all jaw-jacking anyway. But that was the first time I'd ever gone any place. And like I said, I don't think anybody really believed me. My kids believe me because I told them it's right, because they know I won't lie. So, and they've actually said it to other people. The only reason I believe it is because my mom said that she did. Otherwise, we wouldn't believe it. Because they know you couldn't pay me $1 million to, and that's, as God is my witness, you couldn't pay me $1 million to tell a lie about something like that. It just wouldn't happen. You know, I'm not interested in, I mean, I could use the money, but it wouldn't be worth it to me. I can't do that. What I tell you happens is exactly what happens. But, anyways, anybody else got something they want to talk about? Now, if you guys are bored, I'll tell you about the second expedition. Oh, I don't want nothing to do with grizzlies. Oh my goodness. I wasn't thinking about communication. You know, I didn't know about any of that stuff, you know. I mean, I didn't know what to do. All I know is I heard something out there that I didn't, you know, the people were saying was a Sasquatch, but you gotta be kidding me, you know. I mean, I have no idea. Oh yeah, that'd be awesome, Chev. That'd be absolutely awesome. There's so many places I would love to go. I mean, really love to go. I gotta clean up my mess first. I can't stand a mess here in front of me. Oh, you want the second expedition? You're back, Ryan? Okay, Ryan, that's perfect. Yeah, you have to pay. And that's gone up now, Joe. I mean, we paid $300 a person for that expedition, that weekend expedition. And I got really mad at them, too, because I said, what's the $300 for? You guys didn't even buy any food. I said, you gotta be kidding me. Because they said they were going to supply the food. They didn't supply any food. And I made them, and he bought pizza the last day. But, oh, okay, Ryan, I'm sorry I missed you. I was just jaw-jacking like crazy. But let me go empty my trash real quick, and then I'll come back, and I'll tell you what happened the second time. Okay? I'll be right back. I don't like a mess. And it's a mess. Clean up my mess. Uh-oh. I got a portal going on. You guys in a portal? Are you guys in a portal? I hear movement out there. My computer's in a portal. Okay, hold on. What's going on that you're in a portal? Yeah, it's buffering like crazy. Okay, there you go. Okay. And my water and my coffee. That goes in the trash. That goes here. I'm all organized here. Okay, so. Hi, Ramona. What are you making noise out there for? Hello? Okay, hang now. Come on, babies. Okay. Alright, so on to part 2. This is all the stuff that I was going to tell Carrie from Bigfoot Odyssey. You know, I was going to tell him my Odyssey, but that stuff didn't work out too well, so I'll just, I'm not in front of the camera, but I'll just tell you guys all the stories. Alright, so, hi sweetie, how are you? What are you doing out there? Hello? Woo! You stop. Anyway, so, second time we go. Different group of people. Bigfoot Forest. No, I'm not. Okay, second time we went. Different group of people, except for the people that do it. Hey, Brandon. Why save it? Joe doesn't want me to tell the story, guys. I can be hard-headed if I want. See? Hear that? How are you, Brandon? How was work? And probably hotter than Hades, huh? Boy, the humidity was crazy today. Who's Sunny, Lindy? Oh, really? It's only 1:22, you know. Nobody wants to be bored on my channel. Ah, I'm just messing with you guys. I'm having fun. Cactus Joe. Get him, guys. Sunny Vader, mountain guide near Nordegg. Oh my, that would be awesome. Okay, so here's part 2. Oh yeah, don't forget the hot sauce. Okay, so here's part 2. Alright, night 1, the area we had gone to the first time up on the ridge, that was closed. They wouldn't let anybody go back up there, right? So, and then the area we had gone to the second night, that's where they said they wanted to take us, but what we ended up doing was we ended up going at the very back part of the conference area. We just decided to walk instead of taking ATVs to a closer area, so we'd be closer to the campground. So actually everybody could walk if they wanted to, because some people had small children with them, you know, which was craziness to me. But anyway, they had small children, so they wanted to make sure that they could walk back to go to the restrooms or whatever the case may be. And so they wanted to get closer. All right, so night 1, we go down to that area. And people are kind of walking off by themselves, you know. I mean, they got groups of, and this husband and wife team had 3. One kid was probably somewhere around 3 or 4 years old, and another one was probably 8 or 9, and the other one I think was around 12 years old, right? Something like that. And then, you know, these 2 older ladies, me and Sandy, and I think that night there was like 12 people. And this girl that we had met there that I really liked, you know, her and I got along really well. Well, anyway, we all decided to stay in that A-frame that we had stayed in the time before, because that first night we were there, that place was so full of spiders, and they said they would clean it out. And we decided to grab that one, right? So anyways, we get that A-frame. Yeah, they are. And so we walk down there, everybody walks down there, and all the chairs were set up, the fire was already going, it was already starting to get dark. And by the time we got down there, I mean, it wasn't completely dark, but the sun was going down. But when you're down there in the bottoms, you know, the canopy makes it dark anyway. So it was, to me, it was pretty dark. So we're sitting down there, and everybody's just, you know, kind of talking, whatever. And there were people were seeing eye shine everywhere. I didn't see any of the eye shine. We heard a couple hoops, but I couldn't tell you it wasn't the people that were up on the top. You know, I couldn't verify absolutely anything that was there. Nothing. So it was kind of uneventful, you know. And so we ended up going back early, and that night was absolutely incredible. Now, we're in the A-frame, right? And it's me, Sandy, and this other girl. Now, this girl that we're with, she is allergic to smoke. I mean, absolutely allergic to smoke. So we made sure that we didn't smoke anywhere around her. Nobody smoked anywhere around her. I mean, she couldn't even get a breath in. She would start turning purple. So we made sure that we stayed way far away from her if we did smoke. Well, we're in the same cabin, and I figured, you know, I'll just go outside and smoke, no big deal. And then I'll take my jacket off when I come in so it doesn't smell like smoke. Well, anyway, I went to bed early because I had a raging headache, and I don't usually get headaches. But I had a raging headache, and I couldn't figure out why. Later on, I realized it was because I didn't have enough coffee. You know, it was one of those caffeine headaches. So anyways, I'm laying down. They come in. Now I'm awake because I can hear a pin drop when I'm in bed. So they come in, and they're trying to be quiet, and they both lay down. Well, I'm laying there. I didn't move. I waited for a while. I just smoke cigarettes, Brown. I don't smoke pot. Caramel cappuccino. Anyway, so I'm laying there, and I figure I'd wait till they both went to sleep, and then I'd go outside. And I don't even know what time. I couldn't even tell you what time it is. I didn't have a watch on. My phone didn't work, so it shut off. So I couldn't even tell you what time it was. All I know is it was pitch black outside.
and there was hardly any moon, and, whatever, it didn't matter. So I went to the door, and I'm standing by the door, and I'm watching, and I'm seeing shadows move all over the place, and then I see these two guys, and they're walking from one of the bunker houses over to directly in front of us where there was a cut tree stump, and they were putting stuff on the tree stump, and you could hear them talking, so I was watching them. Well, they turn around, they go back, and the door closes, and, you can watch. I watched them walk in, close the door, and I'm standing there, and here I see these shadows again, and I'm watching these shadows, like, run all over the place. So I'm thinking that maybe their kids are outside playing, and they went out the other door or something. I didn't even think about it, really. So I just got ready to go outside, and I heard the one girl that was next to me, she stopped her, well, I'll call it snoring, but it's just a light snore. It's not a resonating snore. It's just a real light snore. And she had stopped snoring, so I said, "You're awake?" And she goes, "How did you know?" And I said, "Well, your breathing changed." And she goes, "I was waiting for you to walk out that door." She goes, "You're really going to go outside?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm going to have a cigarette." She goes, "Please don't go out there." And I said, "Why not?" Okay? Yes, I know, Bill. I saw. Anyway, well, Ryan will get a strike if he says it again, so he'll get strike one. Anyway, so I get ready to open the door, and the girl stands up, and she goes up. She goes, "Please don't go outside." She said, "I'm really afraid." And I said, "What are you afraid of?" And she said, the Bigfoot out there. And I said, "Well, why would you be afraid of them? They said that they're used to people. They said they're out here, they play games all night long. Two guys just walked over there in the middle of the dark. They didn't have flashlights or nothing. They put something out on that thing." I said, "I want to go out and see what they put out there." And she goes, "No, please don't go." And I said, "Look, I'll be fine." And I said, "Besides, I'm armed if I have to." I said, "I'm just going to smoke a cigarette and I'll come right back." And she goes, "I'll let you smoke in here." And I said, "Oh, heck no, I'm not going through that." So I put my hand on the doorknob, and I went to open it, and she slams the door shut. And I looked at her, and I said, "What are you doing?" She goes, "Look." And I turned my head. Now, the pane window had those little bars in it, those bunch of little bars. And I look out, and I see eye shine, and I mean big eye shine. And it's right in front of us, and I was like, what do they got? A pole with lights on it, or how are they doing that? She goes, "How is who doing what?" And I said, "How are they hoaxing that?" She goes, "This isn't a hoax." And I said, "Yes, this whole thing is a hoax." And she said, "I thought you'd seen them before." And I said, "No, I heard a bunch of stuff last time I was here, but this has got to be a hoax. There's nothing that's that big out there in the world. There's just nothing." She goes, "Oh my gosh." She goes, let me tell you this." She goes, "I've been here before." And she said, they are real." And I said, "Well, I don't, I'd have to see one to believe one." And so she wouldn't let me walk out the door. And I'm looking at this, and I said, "I really want to see what this is." She goes, "Please, please, please do not go outside." She goes, I'm begging you, do not go outside." I was like, whatever. So I went in the bathroom. I took my blanket, I rolled it up against the door, I opened up the window, and I sat at the window and smoked my cigarette. Then I got in the shower, took a shower, came back out, and I climbed into bed. Next morning, I wake up to a bunch of people outside making so much noise. And I came outside, and I said, "Do you guys not know the meaning of coffee before you start jaw-jacking?" "Oh, we've already had our coffee. We've been up since 5:30. And I said, "Well, I went to bed at 5:30, I think somewhere around there. I know the sun almost was coming up by the time I went to bed." So I walk down, I get my coffee, and I come back, and they've got the truck right in front of the door, and the guys had pulled up there. I guess they were gathering some wood for the fire for that night. And so I go walking over to the other side of that big, huge pile, right? Because I want to see, if there's anything on the ground, and I want to see how tall it had to be, because I figured for sure they'd leave something behind. And I saw these massive footprints, right? Massive footprints on the ground. So I call this one guy over. Now, I don't remember his name, but I called him over, and I said, "Look at the size of these prints." He says, he goes, "I wouldn't worry about that." He goes, "So many people walk through here." He goes, you wouldn't get a good print." And I said, "I'd get a good print, because I didn't know enough about that stuff." And I said, "But look at how big that is, and look at the toes." And he just kind of blew me off and walked away, so I was like, whatever. And then I looked to the right, because I'm facing the wood line, right? I looked to the right where for the fire that night, the next night. They're getting wood for the fire for our second night on the expedition. Anyways, from that pile that was in the middle.
So now I look to the right, which is where the A-frame is, and I freaked out. Guys, all I saw was the top of the A-frame from where I was standing. I didn't realize it dipped down. These footprints had to be 18, 19 inches long. They were huge. They were absolutely massive. And when I went back over to the door, I pulled that guy over that hosted it, and I said, do you realize I saw eye shine right there? If that's what it is. You guys weren't hoaxing, right? You guys weren't out there with sticks with eyeballs on the top of it or something trying to scare us girls? He goes, no. He goes, they were all over the place last night. They were running all over the place. Well, remember I had said I saw shadows all over and running all over. He said they were sitting out by the fire 2 places down, which I couldn't see. I wasn't outside. But he said they were sitting out there watching them run all over the place. Well, by now I'm really freaked out, and I'm like, this is wrong. This is just, on so many levels, this is wrong. And so we just, kind of go out through the day. We go get something to eat. We're just jaw-jacking. People are telling their stories, blah, blah, blah. That's what they do on the expeditions. And then it comes close to nighttime. Well, anyways, the second night, okay, because we only stay 2 nights. We stay 3 days and 2 nights. Second night, we go to that area that I was telling you before. They got the campfire going, there's a lot of people down there. People are talking. They got their parabolics up. They're playing Indian music, Indian flute music. They got it down real low, but they're playing Indian flute music. And 4 of us decide to go for a walk, and it's kind of like shaped like a horseshoe. And if you look at a horseshoe, the openings of the horseshoe is at the top, and the round part is down at the bottom. Well, down at the bottom, if you graphed it that way, would be where the fireplace is. And we decided to go for a walk, around, the top part. So it's 4 of us. We're walking, and they're talking about stuff, and I'm just kind of along for the ride. And I keep hearing movement, and now it's not dark yet. And it's not even really dark in the canopy yet. It's getting there, but it's not there yet. So we're walking, I keep hearing that, and I said, is anybody hearing that noise? And they stop and they listen, and say, no, we don't hear nothing. And we walk again, and a few more minutes, and I keep hearing it. And I said, guys, there's something out here, I can hear it. He said, what does it sound like? I said, well, it's soft-footed. It's not heavy. I don't think it's very big. I said, it's soft-footed. And I said, but I can hear it crunching leaves when we're walking. And very lightly. I'm not talking about crunching leaves like when I walk through the woods. I'm talking about real lightly. Well, anyway, we get about 3/4 of the way around, and we've been gone probably 35 minutes, I think, because we were just taking our time, and he was showing people stuff and whatever. We get about 3/4 of the way, and I hear it again. Only this time I hear it a little bit louder. And I stopped, and I said, that's it. I said, guys, there's something right here. I said, it's right here. And he said, and so what we did was we kind of spread out a little bit, about 5 foot away from each other, and we walked straight ahead into the wood line, and we were looking to see what we could see. And nobody saw anything, but the one guy that was with, I guess, his girlfriend, he said, I did hear something. He goes, but he said, I figured it was a small animal, some kind of small critter. And so I was like, whatever. And I took one step, because I was in the front of the line. I took one step to go back to the camp, and this cougar jumps out from one side to the other and about scares me out of my socks. I mean, I didn't scream. I said, cat, real loud. And the guy behind me whips out his gun and his flashlight, and he points toward, and all you saw was this thing's butt and its tail up in the air. And then he gets on his radio, and he goes, we've got a big cat, we got a big cat. He goes, get the kids together. He goes, keep everybody together. We got a mountain lion, or whatever he called it, he said, in the camp, or outside the camp. I said, I told you I heard something. I said, my gosh, that thing was so close, it scared me half to death. Anyway, we get back, and I'm sitting down, and I'm listening to the lady talk to her kids, and we're done with all that. Now, nobody's walking away. Everybody's pretty close by, because that cat was right there, and we don't know how far away it is. And I asked the guy, and I said, do you have these predators around when you have the Sasquatch around? He said, no, not normally. This is really abnormal. He goes, so we may not get any activity tonight. And I was like, dang, because I really wanted, at that point, I really wanted to see one because everybody's talking about their encounters. Everybody but except for me and Sandy. So even the kids were talking about it. Yeah, it probably would have gotten me if I was alone. But anyway, so I'm sitting down in the chair, the fire's right in front of me, and around the corner there's a big pile of brush. It's not separated, it's all live, but there's a big bush and small tree thing section right next to me. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching the fire and I'm listening to this lady talk to her kids. And one of her little kids, one of the other ladies takes this little kid and she goes off to the side a little bit. So all of a sudden, and I'm like maybe about 5-6 feet away from this 9-year-old, this 8-9-year-old. He goes, "Oh, there it is." And so I jump up. Wow. I jump up and I run over there real quick and I get down to his level because I want to see what this kid's seeing, right? And I see, this is exactly what I saw. I saw this smaller black thing. And it took like a leap into a garden, I mean a hedge, I guess it really wasn't that, well, yeah, it looked like about a hedge, it looked like a hedge that was over there, because it was probably about 4 or 5 foot high. It wasn't cut or anything, it was just, growing wild there, but it seemed like it was a hedge, because it was, how do I describe it, probably about, maybe if I went over there when I went during the day, it was probably about 18 foot long on the ground, and it just reminded me of a hedge. Anyway, it jumps behind there. It was a black thing. I mean, it could have been a bear or something like that, because now at this point, you've got a little bit of moonlight, but most of it's dark, because you are now under the canopy. And then right after I saw that black thing, okay, I see this other black thing. And this thing is huge, it's wide, and I was like, oh my gosh, I see it. Now we're 60 yards away from it, maybe, and it takes one step, and then it goes back behind, like 1.5 steps, I'll just put it that way, and then it goes behind that black hedge. And I was like, oh my gosh, I saw it. And all these people come running over, and they said, where? And I was pointing, and the kids said, yeah, we saw it right there, there was 2 of them. And then we see these 2 ladies walking on the right-hand side towards that direction. And they said, no, those are those 2 ladies. I said, no, I see those 2 ladies. Those are people. This was not people. What I didn't understand is the first one, I didn't really catch much of it. It just looked like a black something or other that jumped in. So, I mean, to me, it could have been a bear or a cougar or something, because it was just black. But the second one, the head was bent forward a little bit, more of a cone shape than Boo or any of the other ones I've seen. Really wide, really wide, and it made those people, the 2 girls, which that girl was 5'11", because I asked her later, made them look like children. So, I mean, in 1.5 steps, but it was gliding. It didn't take steps like we take steps, especially if it was going to do it fast. You'd bounce. This thing just, like it was on rails, okay, and it was just gone. And then we went over and measured, and the tree that it had put its head under as it went forward, because remember I said its head was kind of bent forward, that tree limb that was there was 10 foot tall. And I went back, I mean, my hands were shaking. At that point I was like, no way, I did not just see what I just saw. Well, we had gathered everybody together and went up on top, and I went straight to my bunk, and I put the pillow and blanket over my head, and I just had to calm. Gosh. I'm getting so upset here. I had to calm down because I could not believe what I saw. I mean, this thing was, I didn't see any facial features or nothing like that. It was massively huge. And it just disappeared. And 1.5 steps, and it took like 10, 12 feet in 1.5 steps. And it was just gone. How can something that big move that quick without major movement. Oh, it's so hard to, so hard to describe. You have to see it to believe it, honestly. But, so I stayed there for a while, and then I went back to where the guys were and the girls, and they were all sitting around the campfire. And the guy comes up, he goes, "You all right?" And I said, "Yeah." And I said, and he goes, "Nobody else saw that." And I said, "I don't care." I said, "But I did, I did see that." And they said, "Look." And I said, "All these people have told me their experiences, but yet people are acting like they don't believe me." And he said, "Don't worry about it." He goes, "If you saw it, you saw it." I questioned myself. I went home and told everybody. And again, I don't think anybody here really, maybe they didn't really want to believe me. But, I mean, they didn't flat out call me a liar, but I could tell by the look on their face. They were shocked at listening to me, and they know I'm not going to lie to them. But I didn't believe it. You know what I'm saying? How do I describe to my family that this is real and this is true? I mean, I didn't go up and touch it or nothing. So, and that's the type of person I am. I mean, I'll tell you, with the exception of God, I'll tell you, I put my hands on it, so it's physical, it's there. But I didn't get to do that, and it was that far away, and my eyes weren't playing tricks on me. This thing was, you talk about the blackness of under the canopy, that was nothing compared to the blackness of this thing standing there. And its body shape was definitive. I mean, everything about it was defined. I mean, you saw the lumps on the arms and on the. I couldn't tell you how long the hair was. Nothing. I was shocked at the size of this thing, the girth of this thing. Actually, more so the girth than I was the size. Just like the alpha on on the property. Anyway, when I came back home, I was a wreck. I mean, I was a wreck. And now I didn't know what to think. And then I started really getting into, watching all these videos and learning stuff. And that's when I met Robert, and Robert invited me out to his property. And Sandy and I went out there and spent 2 weekends out there. But that's what happened. And that's what started this whole thing for me, because I was a true non-believer. I used to laugh at people talking about this stuff and orbs and just the whole 9 yards, But I can't tell you guys, for those of you that have never seen one, I'm just going to tell you, the first time you see one, you can't ever unsee it. It takes your breath away, and you dream of these things, and it's a 24/7 thing. It's so hard to get it. My kids could be sick and throwing up, and I'll pop a visual in my head of one of those things. It changed my life completely. It completely turned me upside down. I had no idea. Yeah, it is a whole new level. There's just no way, and I know I've seen more than two. I've seen my share, trust me. But it had to make me stop and think, of what else is out there. That's the first thing that hit me after this, is what else is out there. If this is actually true, then what about all these other people that are seeing all these other things that they're calling cryptids? What if they're telling the truth? Here I thought people were lying, and then I finally got to watch the Boggy Creek Monster and stuff like that. Well, that was one of the reasons we went to Honabi, but it changed my whole reality. Exactly, Chef. It changed my whole reality. Absolutely. There's no way that something that big could be that quiet, could be that stealthy, could be that huge, I went on the first trip because we had watched the I don't know, Swamp Monster or Boggy Creek or one of those, and I always like to do things with my grandkids outside the normal. I go to a park where you're gonna swing on the swings. Let's just something different. And it popped up the Honabi, Bigfoot conference, and I said, why don't we go? I mean, it was just a joke, right? Something to do on a weekend, so we went. And man, that was the beginning for me. That was 2014, and it's been a ride ever since. yeah, there's so many things that have changed since then. You know, I mean, my experiences up there. No, Nelson, the one I had the face to face with, the two I had the face to face with were up there on the property in Oklahoma, or down there on the property in Oklahoma, because I'm in Arkansas. So it was below me, southeast Arkansas, southeast Oklahoma, up in the Kiamichi Mountains. That this, I mean, I've had a true, that's when Carrie asked me, after all this, Carrie asked me if I would, go on this show, and I said, I do definitely have an odyssey, because everything changed. I never heard about it. You didn't know my story, Pappy? I was on Vic Cundiff's show once, and then the second time he invited me back, and I brought David on with me because David had been up there, and it was hysterical because that's when I was making fun of David when he was on the live with me when I made the comment about the 20-foot rattlesnake and stuff, because that's what Vic Cundiff said to him. He said, Dee, is it true that the snake was as big as a telephone pole and 3 feet around or something? And David's like, I never said that. It was so funny. But oh yeah, well, Honaby was weird. Honaby was just, it was the beginning, I mean, and that's where I saw my first orb, was in Honaby. And the guy that took us on the expedition, I've been there before we went shooting up there, and he's telling me all kinds of stories because he works on the reservation. He works as a tribal cop, and he's told me all kinds of stories. Well, you're welcome. I thought all you guys knew that story, my stories. Yeah, I have, Nelson. The one we're calling Grandma. I had a tree right here in front of my window, and I kept asking my son to cut it down because I couldn't see anything behind. It was getting really big. It's one of those Japanese maple trees, and I asked him to cut it back. And yeah, that's right, Joe. I was saving it for the Bigfoot Odyssey, but that didn't happen. So. Yeah, right, Arena. But anyways, but the night that my son was taking this tree down, Grandma, what I call Grandma, because I wasn't the only one that saw her, she intentionally stepped out from the tree that's directly in front of my camera here. She stepped out to the left. I saw her gray chest. So far, only 30 what? Tonight? Oh, only 30 people watching? That's alright. Anyway, she stepped out and stepped back. That's all she did. Now, I've seen eye shine. I've seen, movement. I've heard movement. I've heard the tree snaps. I've heard howls. I've heard grunts. I've heard talking. I've heard all kinds of stuff. But I've only actually seen her standing there once. And that was freaky. Because, I mean, she intentionally stood out so I could see her. And I tell you it's a female because the way that... I could tell it on another show. Me and Kevin, what are you talking about, Joe? Kevin wasn't with me. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Kevin, I was up at Kevin's place. Kevin's been down here. Kevin and I went to Honaby together. Well, he was really sick. you know, so he didn't get to experience much of it. I saw one in Honubby that time too. Yeah, they hit my house. They also killed a cat outside my house. They threw it up against the wall and killed it. Yeah, and I asked them not to kill my cats, but I found the cat on the side of the house and it was dead. Everybody heard it though. It hit hard. You heard the cat screaming, then you heard it sounded like it was running away with the cat, and all of a sudden slam. And next day I went out and I had to make sure if it was dead that I would remove it before the kids saw it, you know. I have one dog, she's in the house. She's very afraid of them. She will bark at people, but if these guys show up, she's tail between her legs and she hides behind me. She's a big dog. Yeah, he'll be alright. I don't know, but there's been a lot of, you know, you guys have been on my lives a lot of the nights where it actually sounds like something took off with one of the cats, you know. And that one night, remember, that cat was screaming, all of a sudden dead silence. Like it, almost like it put its hand over the cat's mouth and said, shut up, you know. I mean, that was really freaky. Because I've never known a cat to do that, like that. It sounded like the air was being squeezed out of it. Like it couldn't breathe. Now, if a predator had gotten it, it wouldn't be that way. You guys shouldn't be eating this late at night, unless you live overseas. You shouldn't be eating this late at night, even if you're night owls. It's really, and especially if you're overweight, you do not need to be eating this time at night. It's really bad for your system. Your body is not going to know what to do with that weight except for store it. Anyway, so I've got a whole bunch of stories, but I'm not going to tell them tonight. I mean, I've been to a lot of places, quite a few places, and I've had all kinds of things happen, and nothing definitive, but you know, enough for me to know or try to guess, you know. But I don't have anything. That was the one thing that kind of didn't make me want to rush to do the Bigfoot Odyssey thing, because everybody had videos and pictures and I didn't do any of that, you know. I didn't take pictures, you know. I didn't have FLIRs and still cameras sitting out there. I didn't have any of that stuff, so basically all I had was my word, you know. Thank you, Chef. They are true. They are 100% true. I'll never forget them. I might mess up like I did on the show. I called the ATV. I called it an RV. I felt like an idiot, but wow, Ryan, how tall are you? 138. I'm already writing a book. But a different thing. Good night, Pappy. Thank you so much for coming. Bless you, bless you, bless you. You're 5'10" and you only weigh 138 pounds? Wow. Yeah, my book's not an easy read, but aw, thank you, Chris. Well, I'll share my story. You know, anybody that asks me to, I'll share my story. I just don't like being in the limelight at all. I never have. I mean, I'm not afraid of talking in public. In fact, you know, they loved me in speech class, but because I'm not afraid of the public. I just don't like, I don't know, that's just the way I am. Anyways, yeah, that's why I said ATV, RV, camper, whatever you want to call a stupid thing. But I know it was the ATVs that took us up there, and I said an RV. We didn't take an RV to the top of the hill. Yeah, I used to work out for 45 minutes to 2 hours every single day. Well, thank you, Blue. Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that do research, and I don't consider what I do research, although in a way it kind of is. I'm not writing anything down or nothing, but I like the one-on-one interaction. I don't mind not having a FLIR. I don't mind not having the equipment. If I can get the one-on-one, because trust me, sitting out there with nothing in your hand, you're gonna get a whole bunch more activity than if you've got anything going on. And I had to actually, let me tell you what I did once. Up on the property, I used to put my recorder out in the woods. And this one night, it was, I didn't want to go out there by myself. It was dark, and there's rattlesnakes everywhere out there. And I just didn't want to go out there. And plus, right before that, we had gotten growled at, I think, by a bear. So I just decided to put my recorder on the back of my truck, and I laid it down on the bed of the truck, but the railing of the bed, right there by the cab. There's an opening there. I put it right there, and all night long I kept hearing this little bangs, like rocks or sticks being thrown. I heard it from inside, right? And then the next day when I got it out, when I went to go get it, I couldn't find it. And I was like, what happened to my recorder? And I saw all these rocks in the back of my truck, these little pebbles. And I was like, where's my recorder? And I went to walk away, and I turned around and looked, and here it was. It had gone. They threw rocks at that recorder until they knocked it down between the cab and the bed of the truck. And it was on the ground. And I picked it up. And I started laughing. I was like, that's what that noise was last night. So the next night, what I did was I took the recorder, and I put it up to my face, and I said, guys, this is just, and I pointed to my ear, I said, just for you to hear, just for me to hear you. So I pushed record, and I said, hello, 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 and then I pushed play back, and I put it up in the air, and it said, hello, 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 and then I threw it on the ground, and I said, this can't hurt you. I put it back there, and they never touched it after that. They never touched it. No matter where I put it, they left it alone. You can't tell me these things aren't smart. You can't tell me. Right, Seth. If I do anything different, the activity slows down. Anything different, I don't care. Even going outside that night, I don't think they like that very much. And they might not trust me to not come outside. So I don't know. But I like it the way it is. We can have boring nights like this once in a while, but boy, when it's active, it's really active. Like I said, Chappie was at it today, so I don't understand. What were they doing? Yeah. Well, I'm really hoping, like everybody else is, that one of these nights I walk away from the phone and they come up to the window. And I'm hoping all you guys get to see it. That'd be great, wouldn't it? For 4 years. Boo was the first one I saw. Boo was the first one that jumped on the trailer. Boo was the first one that threw things and took stuff and played and stayed on the wood line. And they grow pretty fast, And I think when they get to a certain age, they grow even faster, like these growth spurts, just like a teenager does. My grandson went from 4 something to almost 6 foot, basically in 1 year. And I think they do the same thing, because Boo wasn't tiny. I mean, I swear he was about 7.5 foot tall the first time I saw him when I got up there. And then right before I left, I think he's someplace I think he's somewhere around 8 foot tall now, which isn't very much bigger than he was when I first met him 4 years ago. So, but the other ones, the little baby ones that I'd heard making all that noise outside the window, they were definitely bigger. And I also believe that the one was one of the babies that had showed herself, I believe it was a female, to me and Lizzie. You know, because she was not big at all. I don't think she was, I don't think she was 6 foot, you know, I don't know that for a fact. I didn't measure. I just put my hand up in the air, but I don't think she was 6 foot. And she wasn't built like, you know, like Boo was. Boo looked like the backside of a barn, you know. He was huge, but wide meaning. And of course good night, Claire. Love you. God bless, hon. I'm reading what you guys are writing. Who's arguing? Okay, who's arguing? Yeah, it's creepy when you hear voices. Because I know there's no people out here, so when I hear voices, I get really creeped out. I'm like, wait a minute. What are you talking about, Joe? Or who are you talking to? What is that noise? Well, they just started building, Joe, they just started building new buildings as of, this past year and a half, 2 years. Okay, Shadow. I gotta grip my water. I'll be right back. I need water. Exactly, Ryan. Tony does the same thing. He tells us all the stuff that's happening outside, and then he goes walking outside. Yeah, They moved it to a bigger location? I don't know anything about that. If you look at the Google map of Honolulu, there's a 2-lane highway right next to it. So if it was someplace else before then, I don't know because I wasn't there. I've only been to that place right there. So I'll have to go look it on Google Maps, but I'll be right back. I need my water. All over again.
No cookies. I caught you. Nope, sorry, caught you. You're in trouble, Chev. You know, I was just remembering when I went on on Vic Cundiff's show, when I was retelling what happened, I started crying. It was, telling the story again was, I don't know, a little harder. Oh, gosh, but I started crying. You know, I haven't done that since, you know, because it's been a while, but it was overwhelming. It really was. And I went back and listened to it, I don't know, probably about a year ago. And I went back and listened, because, you know, since then he doesn't have it. You know, he doesn't have it on YouTube anymore. So I had to go find it. And I listened to it. And I remember exactly that feeling when he was asking me what happened. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, there's no way these things are real. And I started crying because of how big it was, you know. Like I said, I'm not one to cry, you know. I mean, of course I haven't been, but lately I've been crying, but I'm not a crier. I never have been. You know, I get angry, but if something hurts me pretty bad, I'll just turn it into anger like most guys do, and then that way you can deal with it better, you know. It's easier, you know. Then you can just put it away where it belongs and leave it alone. But I can't believe it. I got so choked up, you know. And he said, "Take your time, Dee. You're doing fine." And I was like, I mean, it just came flooding back, the whole memory of the visual, and that's why when people make the comment that, you know, like, why didn't you take out a camera, or why didn't you, you know, take pictures of it? I think your brain's in shock for a second, you know, for you to, if you can, to snap out of it and realize what you're actually looking at, you know? And I think it's a little bit better now because you guys got a whole bunch of people to listen to tell you, and pictures to look at. I didn't, you know? And you went outside. Good night, Nelson. Thank you very much for coming. God bless you, hon. What's your 44 gonna do? Silly, silly. I always appreciate it when you guys come on. I don't know what the crying is for. It's something I never did growing up. You would rarely see me cry, even as a child. And now all of a sudden, it doesn't take hardly anything for me to cry. Okay, Nelson. God bless you. That's my stomach. Yeah, we change. I don't like the change. I don't like crying, you know. If I'm crying for somebody, that's fine. Alright, what does Ryan have? I think I would too. I stepped on one of those push pins the other day. Ryan, what are you eating? You guys better stop passing out the cookies. I'm telling you, I'm going to ground y'all. I was raised believing that crying was a sign of weakness. And I got beat up all the time by my mom's boyfriend and some other people, so, you know, and you don't dare shed a tear. You shed a tear and you get hit worse, so I didn't cry. Dang, Ryan. It's a whole bunch of caffeine right there. I do too. I have my core, my alkaline water. I'm just telling you how I was raised. I was raised where crying was a sign of weakness. Hey, Becky. Oh, you guys are just bad. You don't have to apologize, Becky. You guys don't ever have to apologize for falling asleep on my live chats, trust me. Most of us are night owls. If my talking to you guys without whistling or screaming or laughing can keep you asleep, then that's so be it. That's fine. You never have to apologize. And I certainly would never be offended at it. Why, Joe? What are you eating? You better not be drinking soda. I talked to a couple people today, and I got an email today. Belle, stop doing that. Anyway, somebody that I was talking to is going through a pretty rough time and has some serious medical issues and cannot afford to buy their medications, but did not give me permission to mention their name, nor did they give me permission to ask for help. So I'm waiting for that permission. The medicine only costs $110, and that's for 4 different medications. So when they give me permission, even if they tell me they don't want their name mentioned because I think there's some, I don't know, I can't tell you. All I know is that I'm waiting for the permission, and when I get permission, then I'll ask anybody that can to help, because this is imperative that this person gets their medication. Imperative, and it's not Shane, and it's not Wonder Pup, and it's not Tony, but it's a person that's never asked for help before, and I think it's just overwhelming for them to ask. They don't want to ask. So I'll wait, and as soon as they give me permission, I will tell you, and I'm going to get the medication and send it to them. And I got some work to do here on some tinctures that I have to make. And I think what I'd like to do very much is I'd like to make a couple of small containers of it and send it out to some of you guys to try that has spot pain. Spot meaning like a place in the middle of your back or on your knee. Not a whole body pain, because you can't take a bath in this stuff. But just spot pain, neck, arm, elbow, knee, something like that. And I'm gonna see what you guys think of it. I've got one jar that's completely finished now. I just gotta mix it up into the salves. But let me know if you guys have spot pain. Anybody has spot pain? One particular area or a couple areas, not like your whole back or something, because there's no way you can put that on your whole back.
and I'll make sure I get it sent out to you. Okay. Yeah, sometimes, oh, I know, Chev. I think Ramona's doing the same thing. So mine doesn't have any THC or CBD oil in it. Yeah, but I think I can make about 8 of them with what I already have. I know, Tony. And the reason I'm saying spot pain is because the containers are small and you could actually go through it really quick. But if you have spot pain like just your knees, you can rub it on your knee, during the day, and it should take out some of that pain. And that's what I want to try on people. Oh, really, Ryan? Sweet. When did you do it? When did you do that, Ryan? When did you do your encounter? It's out now? So it should be one of his newest ones? Or the newest one? Cool, Ryan. I'll check it out. We're only going to 4 hours, guys, and then I'm cutting it off. We're at 3 hours and 20 minutes, so... Shut up, stomach. Neck, shoulder on the left side, and neck, base of skull. Well, the base of skull is not sinus related. If you have sinus issues, it'll be right above your eyebrows, on your cheekbones, around your nose, on your ears. But if it's on the base of your skull, that's usually swelling from someplace else. And a lot of times, 99% of the times when they have the base of the skull pain arena, it's from the way you sleep. It's the wrong pillow or the wrong way that you're sleeping. That's most, I would say 99% of the pain at the neck base of the skull is that. All you need, blue, is a warm rag that I put in the microwave. Get it, cold, get it wet. Put it in the microwave for, 10 seconds. Drop a couple of drops of eucalyptus or peppermint on it and sniff it. Sinus issues gone. Clears up the headache and everything. Opens your sinuses right up. And it feels good, that warmth. Yeah, well, I'm not a doctor, so listen to your doctor. It's terrifying, Ryan. Absolutely terrifying. Okay, Belle. Well, that's good, Irina. Good to hear. Hyena? Other people have said that too, though, Ryan. I've heard that before. I love rolling my finger on the back part of my ear to amplify the noise. It goes from loud to super loud. It's my favorite cricket. I'm gonna name him Cricket. Hey, Cricket. Yeah, I think you have two, Tony. I see nothing. No, Cricket's name's Cricket. Loudfoot is, well, can you imagine if we named one Loudfoot? Did you guys watch Bigfoot in Germany's video, the one with that lit up face? Was that not weird? What the heck was that? What's the fathead type? Noisemakers. I don't know. I haven't talked to him since the last time he was here. But I went back over a few of his videos because they were talking about stuff that I apparently had missed. But that one was just really weird. It just stood out, completely stood out. And there was no mistake in that, none. Oh, I wouldn't put anything past him, Ryan. Seriously. Yeah, Tony's got some terrifying stuff in his backyard. I don't know if I'd be as brave as he is. I don't think I can go out. Although, they're not doing anything to him, but that feeling they emit, you can feel it when you watch the videos. I'd be in fighting mode 24/7 if I lived on that property. I think the cats are playing. I can't wait till Dusty gets rid of all these cats. It makes things so difficult. I'm used to one cat that usually hid at night, and then the possums and the raccoons and all the other stuff. But this, you never know what it is because there's so much noise out there. So many cats. Especially when they're fighting. Crazy, huh? Yeah, Tony, but it doesn't tell you to go unarmed either. I don't mean weapons either, that kind of weapons. And guys, I'm getting sleepy. I'm sitting here getting sleepy. My eyes are heavy. I'm going to go ahead and end it early. Say goodnight. I think I'll go to bed. I think maybe it's the heat. But I'm actually tired. And that's a good sign for me. I don't get tired till about 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Then I'm exhausted. But I'm actually sleepy. So I'm going to say goodnight to everybody. Hey, please. No, Tony, no donuts. Please, please, please don't forget about the prayers. Opal, Melody, Shane and his wife, Tony and his wife, Chev, Kev, Wonder Pup, Guard, Nala, all kinds of people. All kinds of people ask for prayer. So please don't forget them in your prayers. And don't forget, tomorrow night is the shout out. So if you find any good channels that have 1K or less, if they have less than 1K and we want to get them up there, please check out the channel if you like it, and then let me know tomorrow and we'll shout them out, okay? So we'll be doing that probably between 8 and 9 o'clock tomorrow. All right? Yeah, Ramona needs prayer. Arena and her family needs prayer. So don't forget, everybody. Let's group them up as a family and pray for everybody. And you're welcome. But I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. I love you all, and good night, and God bless.